All right, so I got several videos on the channel, if you guys remember, where we talked about which states and which cities were gaining population, which ones are losing population, and things like that. Well, Florida is one of those places that has been booming for a long time, especially since the pandemic. Florida was growing like crazy. Everyone's moving to Florida, especially from New York and other places in the Northeast. Florida has been a hot spot. But were people over leveraging themselves? Could they really afford these homes that they've been buying? You know, there's no state tax, but there is still property tax. Let's see what's going on in Florida, where Lakeland now leads the nation in foreclosures. What's going on in Lakeland?
Our ongoing commitment here to amplify the stories and the voices that impact your daily life. New data shows Lakeland leads the entire country in foreclosure activity among metro areas of its size. Tonight, Polk County reporter Rebecca Petit speaking with local experts who tell us the region's rapid growth and Florida's ongoing insurance crisis could be playing a major role.
And before we do that, in case some of you aren't familiar with where Lakeland is, because it's not nationally known like that. Lakeland is in central Florida between Orlando and Tampa. So it's kind of squeezed between the Orlando metro area and the Tampa metro area. Sometimes I've seen some places where they include it with Tampa, but it's basically centered around here. Lakeland is the main city. Then you got Winter Haven, basically Polk County. So it's right here along Interstate 4. A little clearer right there, between Orlando and Tampa. Very dangerous place for driving, as we saw in my Interstate 4 video. But yeah, it's been a popular area. Tampa and Orlando and Lakeland, all these areas in Florida are booming in population. So let's see what's going on with the housing situation there.
Foreclosure is often a stressful and emotional experience. It's something real estate broker Bob Miller knows all too well.
It was humiliating, it was humbling, it was embarrassing, and I curled into a little ball and I waited till they knocked on the door.
Miller tells me his own home was foreclosed on back in 2007 during the economic downturn. He now specializes in helping homeowners avoid foreclosure. Miller says climbing insurance costs is why some homeowners can no longer afford their mortgage payments.
Since 2022, the home rates went up 50%. Home values went up 50%. And now home values have dropped. So those people are stuck in their homes. And now they're seeing insurance premiums go up and they really don't have a lot of options. Some of them are simply opting just not to pay anymore.
The Lakeland Winter Haven area had the highest foreclosure activity among similar-sized metros in the country in the third quarter of 2025. That's according to a new report by real estate data company Adam. This means 1 in every 470 homes in Lakeland had foreclosure filings compared to the national rate of 1 in every 1,400. But not everyone sees the trend as a crisis.
We're not at a disaster stage of the real estate market. The real estate market is still healthy.
Gate Artie, realtor with Keller Williams Realty in Lakeland, tells me the housing market is simply adjusting to rapid population growth.
That increasing population, everything is going to increase. The rate of sales is going to increase. The rate of foreclosures is going to increase. The rate of construction is going to increase.
Experts say communication is key, and homeowners struggling to make payments should reach out to their lender early before foreclosure becomes inevitable.
The biggest misconception is that the banks want your house. Given the choice, they'd rather take the monthly payment over your home. So call them when you simply can't make the payment. They are going to work with you.
Lakeland is not the only Florida metro experiencing foreclosure pain. The Sunshine State is home to 5 out of the 10 highest foreclosure rates. In Lakeland, I'm Polk County reporter.
Yep, and that's what it's mainly about, the insurance. Now, Florida, as you guys know, is very vulnerable to certain natural disasters, and insurance rates are out of control in Florida. Now, me personally, I like visiting Florida, especially in the winter. Had a great time down there every time I've been down there. But I would never buy real estate in Florida. Even if I were to live in Florida, I would just rent in Florida. Because real estate in Florida I don't see it as a good, viable, long-term investment. Especially with what's happening with the natural disasters and the insurance premiums. But a lot of people from up north take their pensions, they come and retire in Florida and buy homes down there, especially older Americans. Now, me personally, I would recommend you be a halfback. You know, the halfbacks who come down to Florida and they realize they're a little too far from New York and they move halfway back. They move to Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, maybe even Virginia sometimes. I think you get a much better bang for your buck in the Carolinas, Georgia, and Tennessee than you do in Florida. Now that everyone has moved to Florida and it's gotten so expensive. But yeah, foreclosures are up in Florida.